Hello and welcome to Network. My name is Spumelele Zonde with your technology and social media news. Now, if you want to be a part of this conversation, then hashtag SABC Network. You can also find us on SABC Network. Now that's on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Here's what's coming up in the program. Cybercrime is a massive problem. To help fight it, Cisco has launched a cybersecurity experience center and academy. We will also go to Uganda, where microfinanciers are urged to take up new technologies. Our discussion is on how businesses can be POPI compliant. Terry Ramaburana is in studio for that one. Hello and welcome to Network.
Hello, good morning.
Is it important for businesses to be POPI compliant?
Yes, indeed, Spumelele, it is important to start now in preparation for the eventuality.
All right, we'll have more on that later in the program. Let's start with your social media and technology news. Technology company Cisco has launched a cybersecurity experience center and academy. They say that this is to help curb cybercrime as well as to upskill South Africa's unemployed youth.
With today's rapid spread of malware, ransomware and overall cyber attacks, computer systems have proven not to be as watertight as we would like them to be. Global scale attacks such as the recent WannaCry ransomware is one that has found people and businesses nervous over the possibility of losing data, except of course if they pay the demanded ransom to free it. The shortage of necessary skills that could help curb the cybercrime pandemic in South Africa adds salt to the wound. However, technology companies such as Cisco are trying to solve this problem by launching a cybersecurity experience center and academy.
What is really most important for me is it's an opportunity for us to start to train and develop skills that will be able to participate in helping organizations protect themselves in the world of cybersecurity. So that's really where my excitement and my real interest sits in, is how we can start to positively impact the world in South Africa around security threats and to provide jobs and opportunities especially for the unemployed youth.
Cisco says that the center is an environment where both public and private sector stakeholders will be exposed to some of the most up-to-date trends in cyber threats such as malware or ransomware from around the world.
So malware is any software that's written with ill intent, so to do something bad. That's malware. Ransomware in general is just a form of malware that is created to ransom somebody using his data. Basically encrypt his data and then ask him to pay a ransom to get access to that data again. It's just another form of malware, and there's lots of different terms we use. We like using terms, but ultimately it's similar to what you would find if you would maybe kidnap a child and ransom him for money. In this case it's just the photos or whatever else the data might be.
Young unemployed South Africans who have matric certificates with maths and an IT subject, or those in early career status who have attended a college and completed an entry-level IT short course qualify for the program. The Cisco Cybersecurity Experience Center and Academy was officially launched on Tuesday, July 4th.
Sony has launched its flagship smartphone, the Xperia Z Premium, in Johannesburg. Producer Lebusi Jake was there to experience the slow motion feature that is said to be one of the selling points of this device.
Electronics giant Sony has officially introduced their latest flagship smartphone to the South African market. And they say that the super slow motion feature is one that stands out and will pique the user's interest.
One of the coolest features in XZ Premium is the super slow motion. So basically 960 frames per second, so you can record in 960 frames per second, and you can play back 4 times faster than any other smartphone in the market. So you can really see every detail of your child, of the water bottle, of everything you can imagine in very super slow motion. Very exciting.
The smartphone proved to be a hit for these users.
it's like really an advancement for the Sony brand. I feel like overall from playing with it today, it feels premium. The name speaks for itself. It feels premium. It's a premium device.
The camera is amazing. I like the fact that even for selfies it's got like a flashlight on the rear end. So I think the camera is absolutely amazing because I can literally take a picture of anything that I'm doing with me in it as well and still get the efficient lighting.
The Sony Xperia Z Premium is on shelves and sells for about 15,000 Rand cash.
Microfinance institutions are an easy way for many to get the support they need to grow their businesses. But many such institutions aren't regulated. The next story takes us to Kampala in Uganda, where some say ICTs need to be introduced for better regulation in the microfinance sector. Uganda also has a tech startup in that sector. It's called Awamo. 2 years ago, Jane Kiwanuka was struggling to access funding for her cash-stuffed chicken business. The farmer says she approached several banks, but none were willing to give her credit without collateral security. Kiwanuka then signed up with God Alive Financial Services, a savings and loan cooperative or SACCO, and she was able to borrow money for her business to expand.
My income has really increased. Before, it was impossible to buy chicken feed on credit. The dealer would say they also need cash to restock. Today, I get chicken feed whenever I need it because I can easily borrow money from SACCO. Also, I am motivated to work hard so that I can expand my business. I first started with young layers, but now I deal in both mature and young layers, and I'm growing my business.
Microfinance has become increasingly popular in Africa, with Uganda being one of the countries with the highest uptake of the model. The problem with the lack of technology and with everything being written down is the lack of regulation.
People do not have security, they live to us, but they guarantee each other. By this, we are supporting them. Someone comes without much, but they have a business they can sustain. So with growth of that business, they will later have security, because when the business grows, they acquire assets. So you find after being a group borrower, they will come as individual borrowers, because at this point they will have assets as collateral.
Critics say microfinance institutions need to team up with institutions that can teach them how to make better use of information technologies for better regulation.
We are going to see challenge of integrating technology in a positive sense, because technology has a way of being predatory. It can pick out only the good ones, but you want it to benefit the whole base. So going forward, technology is coming down, smartphones are everywhere, apps are becoming apps. People can even hack into the system and steal it, because the SACCO may not have adequate money to hire an ICT consultant to secure their system.
Uganda already has a startup called Awamo, which offers tech solutions for microfinance institutions. They offer mobile biometric software as a service. After the break, we'll talk about the Protection of Personal Information Act with Terry Ramabudana from Mazas. Stay with us.
Looks like joy came early this July. Buy 4 red codes to share. Enter your codes and get 10 Rand airtime guaranteed with up to 100,000 Rand airtime every day for the month of July. Celebrate crisper joy with Red this July.
Kilimanjaro, majestic and mysterious. 27 climbers. 5,895 meters, 5 days, trekking in honor of Madiba and for underprivileged schoolgirls. In just 5 years, millions of sanitary towels have been distributed countrywide. The target to reach 2 million needy girl children by 2020.
It's time that as men, we must actually pick one sanitary pack.
We can touch one girl through this initiative.
SABC News will again be documenting the arduous expedition. The climbers have one goal in mind: to pledge support for a month's supply of sanitary pads. SMS Gillian or Tabo M to 42513. The South African team hopes to summit Uhuru, Africa's highest peak, on Madiba's birthday, July 18th.
It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Welcome back. Now, there's a view that a lot of businesses are not ready for the protection of the Personal Information Act, otherwise known as POPI. Panzitla Gula has already been appointed South Africa's information regulator. Consumers feel this is going to protect them. Bulelani Philip has the details for us.
Protection of Private Information Act, or POPI, is meant to regulate the collection, retention and dissemination of private information. The law came into effect in November 2013 and is yet to be implemented.
I think it is very unfair that people just get to information without you giving them authorization. And it's annoying because people call you all the time out of nowhere.
It's irritating me because they're doing it in my work hours and I'm not supposed to have a phone on me. But I need to keep my phone on me because in case of emergency now, the stupid calls come through all the time.
The legislation aims to protect consumers from the unsolicited telemarketing calls, text messages, or emails, including social media. Marketing companies are only allowed one call to sell you a product before you ask them to stop, and those who contact you via text messages are meant to have an opt-out option to ask them to stop contacting you, the consumer. But at the moment, to stop these unsolicited marketing calls and texts takes effort and money to stop. Companies are also scrambling to be compliant before POPI kicks off.
To help us understand what POPI is and what businesses need to do to be POPI compliant is Tere Ramaburana, Head of Public Sector at Mazars. Hello and thank you for being a part of our network.
Hello, Spumelane.
Now, how important is POPI?
POPI is very important in the sense that it protects the individual in the street, it protects workers, it protects companies as well. This is against any abuse or misuse of information, personal information, individual information and company information. This can take form in different ways. And that's why the Act was put in place by the President in 2013. And already we have a regulator that's going to be running the regulation going forward.
What is it exactly?
Information is king, and that is something that we have to take cognizance of. Information is kept on different media.
These days it's on mobile phones, it is on tablets, it is in the cloud even.
Absolutely. And it's so important that you protect that information. Hence we find that the people that collect, store and transfer information are obliged to take cognizance of the importance of the information that they have and make sure that the right information is given to the right people at the right time.
And I suppose before this didn't happen.
Look, there is governance that we have in place, and that's risk management that is in place. All these aspects are to protect the integrity of the organization. And without really saying we're protecting information as defined in the POPI Act, a lot of people did do this, not realizing that they're doing the right thing.
A lot of people would say that because the Act is from 2013, a lot of people would say that they're still getting phone calls and they still get emails and they still get SMSs advertising all kinds of things to them. Is it right? Is it in effect yet? Why is that still happening?
Look, a lot of people out there, they give information without really knowing what's going to happen with the information they're providing. And that can be a little bit dangerous. What the Act has basically done is to define what kind of information need to be protected and how, type of storage that needs to be taken into account. However, you got to understand that Poppy, as it stands today, is about people and processes as well as technology. And today, technology is business. So hence, it is very, very important to understand the security that sits around information. In simple terms, or the term that is normally used these days is cyber security. And there are terms that would really help cyber security to be a normal way of talk in the general public. Terms like simply information life cycle, data protection, data management, and all those terms are within the cybersecurity space.
So if I run a business, what do I need to do in order for me to know that I am Poppy compliant?
Right. The first thing is that the regulations are going to come soon, and what's going to happen is that as soon as it's announced, people will be made aware that the date is X, and they will be given about 12 months to get their house in order. Now, in the process, a lot of companies have basically done a lot from a governance point of view to make sure that they prepare for the eventuality. And a company like Mazars has actually taken this very seriously in advising our clients to prepare themselves adequately. And we have tools and systems and checklists that we have put together.
And you have a compliance tool as well, don't you?
We do, indeed.
Oh, what is it?
Our compliance tool is twofold. The one side of it is it's generic in the sense that you can, what we call it's a self-assessment tool. Basically, we can provide it to you, and then you can look at your environment, what we call the S is assessment. And we can also come in and basically look at your environment and tell you exactly where the gaps are. That's what we call a gap analysis. And in the process, it will indicate the extent at which you have to spend your money in getting your house in order. And the other part is basically what we call continuous monitoring, making sure that you gradually look at the areas that are of high risk, and we help you deal with those issues. And the high risk areas, to a large extent, are linked to your business objective.
All right. Terry Ramabrana from Mazars, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Now, we spoke to Maps Mapanyana, and he told us what his favorite piece of technology is.
I'm now just with my dad.
But I'm kidding. In fact, you have a better love of your life.
My favorite gadget is probably my phone. Yeah, my S8. It does everything, and with the new technology of things such as Bixby, where you can just point it at something. If you don't know what it is, it immediately pops up and tells you, or you can get it to link to your speakers, and it will be your directory, like some sort of AI voice control. It's just too cool, and everything's on it. I live my life on my phone, so it has to be that.
Kilimanjaro, majestic and mysterious, 27 climbers, 5,895 meters, 5 days, trekking in honor of Madiba and for underprivileged schoolgirls. In just 5 years, millions of sanitary towels have been distributed countrywide. The target to reach 2 million needy girl children by 2020.
It's time that as men, we must actually pick one sanitary pack.
We can touch one girl through this initiative.
SABC News will again be documenting the arduous expedition. The climbers have one goal in mind: to pledge support for a month's supply of sanitary pads, SMS Gillian or Tabo M to 42513. The South African team hopes to summit Uhuru, Africa's highest peak, on Madiba's birthday, July 18th.
It is SABC Network at sabc.co.za. That is SABC Network at sabc.co.za on email. Now, Chinese computer specialists say that they can counter the latest ransomware attacks, and artificial intelligence could be making its way to the sex market. These are some of the stories that made tech headlines in the last week.
Chinese computer security specialists have made their proposals for countering the latest bout of the blackmail cyber attack. The latest attack has so far targeted Russia's Rosneft oil co., Ukraine's Chernobyl monitor, electricity companies, harbor management and express delivery sectors in Europe and North America.
With the attack, people are prompted to key in a key followed by a password to log in, or else they are locked down forever. Their system would be doomed to collapse. They have to pay for the password, like it has asked here, for $300 in Bitcoin.
Wreaking havoc since late June is a new strain of blackmail viruses coded Petya. It spreads through the operating system of Microsoft Windows. It has attacked government computer systems as well. Now moving over to Barcelona in Spain, artificial intelligence, better known as AI, is making its way into the global sex market, bringing with it a revolution in robotic sex tech designed to offer sexual gratification with the near-human touch.
The sexual doll. Samantha has got intelligence, has got a physiological intelligence. Samantha knows when you're next to her that you want to spend time with her. Maybe you're on the sofa and you want to watch TV, and she'll be very pleasant. She wouldn't say anything grotesque or unpleasant to anybody. She'll be very polite. The voice she has for me is very interesting. And you never have to use it for the sexual purpose if you don't want to, because the other capabilities, in my opinion, are good enough. The extra thing that she has is that, yes, if you interact with her romantically, you can get her to actually be interested in sex with you.
Equipped with sensors, a speaker and a microphone, Samantha's responses are driven by microprocessors and an artificial intelligence algorithm. Now back to China. Tencent stocks bouncing back on Wednesday, a day after taking the biggest dive in 17 months, wiping billions of dollars off its huge market value. It came after the company said it was cutting off playtime for kids hooked on its blockbuster Honor of Kings, a lucrative and addictive mobile hit that's taken China by storm. The game boasts some 55 million daily active users, raking in some $84 million a month, a significant part of Tencent's revenue.
I keep on saying that humans are looking for ways to replace themselves. Now, wine lovers will now have a high-tech wine tasting experience served by a humanoid robot. This is a robot sommelier or wine waiter that can suggest the best bottle to satisfy a customer-specific taste by asking them to fill out a questionnaire following a short tasting session.
Each person feels sweetness or bitterness in different ways, so wine recommended by an expert may not necessarily taste good to a customer, but AI can accurately figure out your favorite taste and suggest the perfect bottle for you.
The system, which utilizes SoftBank's Pepper humanoid robot, is already being used in a department store in Tokyo that says they have seen a 48% rise in sales since it was put to work last August. Developers say it can be more effective in judging each customer's taste than an actual human sommelier. The humanoid sommelier was showcased at Tokyo's first Artificial Intelligence Expo. This week, our poll has been asking if you know what the Protection of Personal Information Act is. Now, 30% of those that responded say yes, 39% say no, and 31% say they need clarity. And that's all we have for you. Find us on SABC Network. Now that's on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. newsnetwork@sabc.co.za on email. We leave you with visuals from the China World Intelligence Congress. From me and the rest of the network team, have a good one. Bye-bye.